Chris Mois Deilani Python Dinada Sana. Welcome to JavaScript course for beginner. As you everybody know that I used to teach React.js, I used to teach React Native, and I used to teach jQuery. But some other viewers, some other people do not have a basic or foundation of JavaScript. So this course will help you to understand JavaScript, will help you to understand jQuery, so as you can be efficient when it comes to React.js development with Django, when it comes to React Native and jQuery. So this is a simple page which sum up the content you will get in this course, okay? How different events are handled. Like here, on a click, it change the background color of an element, okay? When I type something here, on console here, you can see some message. When I type something here, you can see event.target. When I click on button, you can see, when I click on button here, you can see something. When I click this button, you can see when I select one, you can see value 1 is filled in the next input form, but it's also being displayed on console.log on console. When I click here, you can see JavaScript alert. When I click item 5, you can see item 5 was clicked. Okay, and when I type something here, you can see. So this is actually how we can deal with different events on JavaScript. So this is actually what you need to you should expect at the end of this course. Okay, it's amazing. So what it needs you to take this course, I mean the basic requirement, make sure you have installed the XAMPP and Apache is running as here because it is our web server. Then after, as you can see, I'm using Windows. So if you have successfully installed XAMPP, when you open it, you will see htdocs file, and here there is a folder with the name summary, and this is going to be our project folder, and inside the project folder there is a subfolder with the name JS, okay, which contains jQuery offline link. Okay, that's perfect. So here we start with introduction. What is JavaScript in general? I can say JavaScript is a programming language for front-end web development and back-end web development. Okay, in example, on front-end, JavaScript uses React.js, AngularJS, Vue.js, and other front-end web framework. And on backend, the popular framework is Express.js, and that sum up the whole meaning of our definition that JavaScript is a programming language for front-end and back-end web development. Okay, that's perfect. So after understanding the meaning of JavaScript, we are going to learn how we can declare a variable. Okay, so I'm using VS Code as my coding text editor, and here on VS Code, create a new file. Okay, I can call it js.html. That's perfect. Okay, then after, I'll say HTML5. Okay, this is perfect. As I've told you that I have downloaded jQuery offline link, but it's a matter of your choice. You can choose to link your page with offline link or online link. Okay, so if you choose to link your web page with offline JavaScript, make sure you download it and press and put it in JS folder. And if you want to use online, make sure, online resource, make sure you paste the link under title. Because I'm using offline link, and this is how I can link my page with jQuery script. That's perfect. Source is js/jQuery. So here I have successfully linked my page with jQuery. And for a quick start here, we're going to start to use so jQuery is just a JavaScript library for web development, for front-end web development. Okay, so you probably don't know, if you probably don't know the meaning of jQuery, that's the meaning. Dot ready function. So what actually this means? This means jQuery will check if the page has successfully loaded, then after it will execute everything inside it. Okay, so let's say when the page is ready, we need it to console.log hello world. Perfect. So let me cross here, let me say this is js.html. So if you don't know how to get here, you can just right click and inspect. Then after, go on console. Here you can see we are able to display hello world. So we start with how you can declare a variable in JavaScript. So in short, there are different ways to declare a variable. Like you can say x, okay, something like this. You can say let y, something like this. You can say const z. So these are the three ways different to on how you can declare a variable. But when you use const, make sure you put the value. Okay, so you can see the difference. So this is actually how you can declare a variable in JavaScript. And here we can console.log value of x is, you can say x, let us copy this, value of y, and here we need to console log value of z. Perfect. Then refresh. You can see the value of x is undefined, the value of y is undefined, but the value of z is 5. So quick one, I think you have clearly understood the difference between const and a let and a val. So in short, when you can use val or let to declare the variable. But if you want to use const, make sure you declare and you initialize the variable. Okay, declare const, then assign value to the variable. So that's it. In short, when you use let or const, you can in short declare, you can assign a value once. Let me show you something here. So here I can say I just want you to get a quick picture of a quick picture of how different these three ways to declare a variable is. So you can see here val x is equal to 2, val x is equal to 3. So when we refresh here, you can see value of x is equal to 3. So here you can reassign value to variable. Okay, so let's try here. Let's say 0, not 0, let me say 80, copy, then here let me say 9. You can see we get an error, cannot redeclare. Okay, so you cannot redeclare a value, you cannot redeclare a variable declared, you cannot redeclare a value, you cannot redeclare a variable which is initialized or declared by let. We can try the same thing here. Okay, perfect. So when you declare variable with val, you can redeclare, but when you declare a variable with let and a const, you declare only once. So I can remove this, and you can see there is no error. Okay, so in short, these are used for constant, but this can be declared, can be redeclared, and so on. So this is actually how to declare variable in JavaScript. So after covering how to declare variables in JavaScript, let's jump on the data types of JavaScript. In short, in JavaScript, there are about 60 different types of data types. There is a number, there is a string, there is Boolean, there is undefined, there is null, and there is object. Okay, so I can, let me delete everything here. Okay, it's not a good idea to delete everything from here, but what we can do is we can say anyways, I want to find a way. Let's just proceed. So let me remove everything from here. Okay, let me remove everything from here. So as I've told you that there are 60 different data types in JavaScript. There is a number, so here I can say val x is equal to 5. Okay, console.log, I think is type of, when I put x, okay, we can refresh here, it's a number. Okay, x is of type number. We can do something like this. You can say x is of type, so let us refresh here. Supposed to be something like this. X is of type, anyways, we can just concatenate here. We can say x, okay, x is of type number. This should be clear. Let's refresh. X is of type number. Okay, something like this. I want to get something clear. X 5 is of type number. Okay, so that's it. So this is a first data type. You can say number. Okay, there is a string. Okay, let me copy. This should not be x. Let me say this is a, this should be a, this should be a. Let me paste it here, and here let us check another data type, which is string. Okay, b, here say Lenny JavaScript, Lenny.js. Okay, so when we refresh here, you can see Lenny.js is of type string. So that's data type number 2. Okay, so there is Boolean. Okay, Boolean in short can be true or false, but in JavaScript, 0, empty, string, undefined, null, and not a number are considered as false. Okay, so let us try to write something here. String, let's say this is Boolean. Okay, let us copy this, paste it here. So this is C. Say this is false. Okay, let us refresh. You can see false is of type Boolean, and once we put it true here, you can see true is of type Boolean. That's perfect. As I told you, let me put 0. In short, let me copy this. Let me put 0. Say something. 0 is of type number. What if I put empty here? Is of type string. Okay, no worry. Null. Okay, null is of type object. So in short, this is Boolean data type in JavaScript. So another type of data type is undefined. Okay, okay, we can copy this. Okay, so let us try to use let's do something. This should be D. This is D. Perfect. So let us refresh. You can see undefined is a type of undefined. So when undefined is represent an intentional absence of value. Okay, means that you have intentionally chosen to do not initialize a value you have declared. So that's all about undefined. But null, we have another data type in JavaScript, which is null. So this should be undefined. Okay, should be undefined. Okay, let us copy this. So undefined here, let us put null. This D should be E. This should be E. As I've told you that speaking of null represent the intentional absence of value, so it is empty. Okay, here we have said it is intentionally, but here you intentionally defined it as null, something like this. So when I refresh here, you can see null is type of object. Okay, so this is what it means when it comes to null data type in JavaScript. Okay, can try something here. Const null, it's okay. So the last type of data of JavaScript data type is object. In short, object is a collection of related data, and this is an example of object in JavaScript. So here I can say dog, puppy, age, let me say 2, sex, male, something like this. So this is object in JavaScript. It's a collection of related data. Okay, so let us copy this. Dog. Okay, let's refresh. You can see object is of type object. Okay, and here we can console dot log dog dot name to get the name of dog. You can see puppy, but there is another way to console dot log. You can use something like this, name. Okay, refresh, you can see puppy. So this is all about different data types of JavaScript. I hope this is clear for you. So far so nice. You know what is JavaScript, you know how to declare a variable, and you know how to declare and initialize value, how to declare a variable and initialize it. You know the different data types in JavaScript. Okay, in the previous part we covered the introduction, what is JavaScript, how to declare a variable, and the different 6 data types in JavaScript. Okay, so let us rename this file and say one, say day 1, session 1. Okay, perfect. Let us create another file, HTML file. It's the name session 2. Perfect. Here in session 1, say val x let y const z is equal to 10. Okay, this was all about how to declare variables. This was data types, and a variable initialization. Visualization. That's perfect. So this was all about session 1. So in session 2 here, this is session 1, this is session 2. What is happening? I don't understand. Okay. Let me come here. htdocs. Oh, session 1 was as a folder. Oh. So let us delete this. Should be a file. That's perfect. HTML5. Let us copy this link. This is day 2. Perfect. In short, in day 2 we are going to deal with DOM selection. Okay, and in short, DOM, which is document object model selection, is a process of selecting an individual HTML object using their tags, classes, ID, and so on. There are almost 5 methods or ways for DOM selection. There is document.getElement by ID. There is getElement by class name, getElement by tag name. There is query selector. There is query selector all. But I'll teach you the 2 ways to select DOM, which is query selector and getElement by ID, which is the most popular in JavaScript. So as normal as usual, here we go. You know, we needed to take this. Don't want to type. So this is script. Okay. Perfect. So here on the browser, this should be session 2. Okay, it is empty. So in session 2 we are going to cover about DOM selection. So here, let's say this is let me say this is heading 2. Login. So ID is login. So how do we select this? This is HTML element. How do we select? By using JavaScript. As I've told you that I'll teach you the 2 ways, which is document.getElement by ID and the document.query selector. So let us start with document.id. So here let me say console.log document.getElement by ID. Then we pass in the ID, which is login. Perfect. Okay, when it will refresh here, you can see heading 2. Okay, what if we put wrong ID? JavaScript will not be able to get, you can see null, as I told you that, so it find out empty. So this is the first way Okay, this is the first way to select. This is the first way for DOM selection. Make sure your HTML element has ID. So if it is your div, make sure you have ID. Maybe sidebar. Okay. If we saw a form, make sure you have ID. User form. Okay. User form. So when you refresh here, you can see. So that's all. Another way to for DOM selection is document.quell selector. Okay. Just copy this, paste it here. So here I can say document quell selector. This one. It will output the same. So in quell selector, let me show you something here. Null. So in quell selector, so if it is ID, make sure you put something like this. Okay, so it know this is ID. Okay, so let me put this as class here. Okay, so this is class sidebar. So if it is class, make sure you put dot, something like this. You can see. For my case, I prefer to work with query selector. Okay, because when you use let me show you some. So when you use document.get element by ID, in short, I can say you are limited. But when you use query selector, you can select anything. It might be class. Not only that, it might be hello there. So it might be h5. So this is very flexible for selecting or for DOM selection. So I would strongly and highly recommend you to use this selector. Okay, so this is all about the DOM selection in JavaScript. Hello there. You can see only hello there is selected. As I've told you that I told you that I'll teach you the two ways to select. I'll teach you the two ways for DOM selection, but let me teach you the last way, which is a selector all. Okay, so here you can see we have h5, but when we use it query selector, it will select the first h5 element. Okay, but if we copy this, and we say select all, you can see node there is h5. Okay, so in short, this is an end of how you can deal with DOM selection in JavaScript. So in the next session, we are going to cover event and the event listening. I mean event and event listener. So you're welcome to our final part of JavaScript for beginner, and we're going to deal with event listening. Okay, how we can listen to different events. I think this is one of your favorite thing you are looking for. You want to see how can we handle the creek, how can we handle the change, how can we handle the key up, key down, and whatever. So to create a new file, which is session 3. Perfect. I would like to copy everything from session 2 in session 3. Then after, let us remove everything here. Okay, let's remove everything from here. So before we proceed, what is event and what is event listening? In short, an event is an action that happens when we manipulate a page. Okay, so when I click, this is an event. When I move the mouse, this is an event. Okay, and there are different types of events in JavaScript. Okay, I can say there is mouse event, on which an example of mouse event is click, like this. Another example of mouse movement is mouse over, like this. The mouse is over HTML element. We go to another type of JavaScript event, which is keyboard. There is key up and a key down, especially when you have select HTML input field. So on keyboard we have key up and a key down. Okay, another type of JavaScript event is form event, which is submit, change, and focus. But the last type of event is window, which is load and resize. Okay, so here we go. We'll start with mouse event, which is click event. Okay, so here let me say this is session put 3 here. That's perfect. As I've told you that we are going to start with click, but there is a direct and a proportional connection between the previous session, which is select a DOM element and listening to an event. So once you select an event, that is where you can listen. Okay, so we'll have an event and an event listener. In short, an event listener allows us to call a function when a specific event happen. Okay, for example, when I click here, this is an event, but what executes after clicking a button is an event listener. So let me do this by doing example here. Okay, let me do example. So heading, let me say this is heading 3, hello world, and the ID here, let me say hello. You know how to select, you know how to do DOM selection, and you know how to declare variable. So here I can say val hello. Let me say just her like this. document dot query selector here, then after let me say hello. Okay, so if I console.log here x, you may see I've already done DOM manipulation, but here there is an idea of variable declaration which we covered in session number 1. Okay, if you remember right. Okay, also we have idea of DOM selection which we covered in session number 2, if you remember right. So here we go. So after DOM selection, okay, we have done DOM selection. The next thing to do is we can add a listener. Okay, we can add an event. So here we can say so here we got ID. Okay, here we have ID of, we have selected heading 3. So the next thing is to add an event. Okay, so here we can say x add event listener bracket, we specify the type of an event. As I told you that in mouse event we have click and we have mouse over. So let us start with click. Okay, here we needed to specify the type of event. Okay, we needed to specify the type of event. So the event is click, which fall in the category of mouse event. After that, we needed to specify the function. Let us type, you can write a function here. If you have created a function already, you can put in, but let me say console.log is quickly perfect. So let us refresh here. First of all, let me comment this. Okay, let me comment this. Okay, let me comment. Okay, when I click here, you can see when I click here, so this is actually how to listen to an event. Okay, but we can add some styles here. I don't prefer this. I want to see something changing here. So let me say would like it to change the background. Okay, Let us try something like this. So let us refresh. Okay, you can see we are able to change the background color. Okay, so that is how we can listen to an event. Okay, we have done DOM selection. Okay, and we have actual, after DOM selection, we have listened to an event and manipulated a DOM. So here we can change. I think it's mouse over, something like this. Okay. Okay, so that's perfect. So here you specify an event. Here you put your function. But there is another option here. You can actually create a function here. Let me say button press D. So it should be something like this. Let us copy this. Okay, let us comment this. So here you can specify the function. Copy function. So instead of having something like this from here up to here, you can remove and put the function button press D. Okay, so let us, this should be something like this. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, this should be come over. Okay, refresh. You can see. So you can choose. You can choose to use this way. Let me copy this. Okay. First way, you can have this, or let me put say first way, but you may have this way, second way. So in a second way, I told you that once you select something like this, write a function. Okay, then something like this. Okay, so that's clear. Okay, but apart from that, there is another way apart from this. Okay, there is another way. There's another way, which I can say it is event delegation. You can do something like this. You can select hello. Okay, then on bracket here you can specify the event like on click, then after put your function. Okay, so this should be on click function, After that, can put something like this. Okay, let me say var id is equal to event dot target dot id console dot log id is put id. Okay, perfect. Let us refresh here. So this is on click. id is hello. id is hello. Okay, okay, id is hello. So what you can actually do here, you can do something like this. id dot background color put blue. Okay, let's refresh. When I click, first of all, let's see. Okay, let me disable. Let me comment from here. Let me do multiple line comment from here up to here. Perfect. So when I click, I want the background color to change. So id.css is equal to blue, but the background color don't change. Okay, so we are able to get on a click. Anyways, let me comment. Let me uncomment. So you can choose to do something like this. This is called the event delegation, or you may choose to use event listener. You select an event, then you listen. Okay, so this was example number 1. What you can actually be doing here, what you can actually be doing here is to change the event. Okay, change the event maybe on a click, mouse over, and so on. So let me add another example here. Okay, and I'll try out to use a different event type. We have done with on a click and the mouse over. Let me find another example which will be I think on change. Okay, so let me create something like this. We actually we have actually done. Okay, so let me select class form select. Okay, let me put option here. Selected. Open this menu to select. then option, let me say this is 1, value is 1. Let me copy this. So this is 2, this is 3, this is 2, this is 3. Perfect. Okay, so what we can do here, so this is class, let me copy and paste it here. Dot class, and let us change, let me say on change, the event is on change. Okay, console.log, okay, option changed. So when I click 1, you can see option changed, 2, option changed, 3, option changed. Okay, so this is all about JavaScript. So what we can do here, so here we have events. First of all, console.log e.target, copy e.target.value. Okay, refresh 1. You can see option 1 changed. Okay, that's perfect. So what you want here is value. Want to log the value, so refresh it. Let me comment this, by the way. Okay, okay, refresh. So you can see we get the value 2, 3. So what we can do here, would like to do something like this. So this is input, type text, id number. Okay, so when we get the value here, can just copy this, val number, then after let us select number.val, we can put number. So let us refresh. You can see 2 is here, 3. This is because the event is on change. Okay, that's perfect. Let me show you the last thing before I quit the session. Okay, there is something called the attribute, something attribute. Okay, let me copy this. Let me comment something like this. Here you can set a value. Okay, let me put let me say Moses. Okay, so let us refresh. Okay, anyways, let me remove this. I think I'll lecture it in the coming session. So we are actually done with the short description, I mean the short introduction of JavaScript, how you can, what is JavaScript, how you can declare variable, the data types of JavaScript, how you can actually do DOM selection, and how you can handle the event. So asante sana, thank you very much, merci beaucoup, muchas gracias, muito obrigado, kamza hamida aita. If you find out this tutorial handful, not hesitate to like, put comment, share, and subscribe for the next update. If you will need this source code, I'll upload them on my GitHub account. Then you make sure you check out below the video description, get the link and clone the source code. But also don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, so as we can remain friends outside the YouTube. Thank you, see you.